Hey everyone, how's it going? I'm not sure that this is working. I don't actually know. See if this works. Ah, there we are. Alright. Cool. Alright, looks like I'm live on both YouTube and Facebook actually here. So hello everyone, welcome to Mockduck Plays Games. I don't actually do a lot of live streaming, but I thought I would do it tonight to show off some of Centipede Recharged here. And I'm just going through the challenges. I've gotten a bunch of them done. And it looks like I'm nearing some locked ones here, but we'll see if I unlock them, provided I kill 50 spiders and a few other things. This game kind of rules, so I don't know. I don't think it's exactly like... Oops, what did I do? Oops. What did I do? Must have been a spider that just attacked. Oh my gosh. It doesn't really play exactly... It plays differently than, say, the original Centipede, and you'll see that here as I'm playing here tonight. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's bad or anything. In some ways, it's the core of what we're used to with Centipede over the years. But it's got some pretty fundamental differences. One of which is, say, for example, the spiders are frankly less of a threat in this one. Instead, they really are the source of your power-ups, which is kind of nice, because, in the original Centipede, let's be honest, I'm going to guess the spider has been the source of perhaps more profanity than many other retro video games in my collection. I've probably sworn more at being killed by the spider and Centipede than just about anything else I do. Oh. As I just died from the Centipede. But, there we go. See if I can hit these challenges. Now, I'm actually looking forward to playing this on the PlayStation 5/4 because of trophies. I have a feeling it's going to be a nice trophy game for me. But I'm playing this on the Atari VCS because, of course I am. And the Atari VCS version is pretty excellent. I'm really digging it. It actually came out theoretically today, although it actually hit late last night, about 11-something Eastern time. It was available in the store, so I was able to actually get some game time in last night, which was awesome. Got a video up on youtube.com, Mockduck Plays Games, if you're interested. It's just 15 minutes of raw gameplay. Not for everyone, but if you're trying to figure out, hey, what's up with the game in general, and I did show off like some of the settings and colorblind modes and what have you. So, it's a pretty good way to kind of check it out and see what's up with the game. And what's up with the game, and it's pretty rad. I've been having a lot of fun with it, so... 10,000, huh? Oh yeah, boink. So I think they look like a wedge of cheese. Maybe I'm wrong. I guess they're supposed to be rocks. I'm going to call it space cheese, however, because, frankly, it should be space cheese. But yeah, I'm digging the power-ups, and I noticed they also, Atari, by the way, announced that they were doing Black Widow Recharged next in time for Halloween, which is going to be pretty good choice there, I think. It's pretty cool. But I noticed some of the power-ups in the Black Widow trailer are the exact same power-ups that I saw last night in Centipede Recharged here, so that's pretty cool. That means you're going to be able to kind of get used to how they work and apply them to the different games, which is pretty cool. Missile Command Recharge was the first in this series, although it's actually been out for a fair amount of time. And they're kind of moving full speed ahead with, I believe, the same people, Atom Vision Studios, which is really kind of a one-person operation, as I understand it, who did a good job, an excellent job, frankly, on Missile Command. Missile Command Recharge, although I was not actually a fan of Missile Command, just the game in general. There was nothing at all wrong with Missile Command Recharge. I just don't like Missile Command. It's always been a game that just stresses me out in a way that I just do not like. Oh my god, I hate Missile Command. I can honestly say maybe I do actually hate Missile Command. But that's not to say it's a bad game. Let's just say that it stresses me out. It's basically a game about the inevitability of death. You will die in a horrible nuclear holocaust. There's nothing you can do about it. The best you can do is try to get a few points before you die. And in my case, not very many points. But that's okay. That's okay. Centipede, however, is a game that's probably been my main go-to retro game. Well, since before it was retro. I've been playing Centipede. I've probably played a million games of Centipede over the years. Maybe that's an exaggeration, of course, but gosh, I've probably played thousands. And it's cool. So to see them use Centipede for their next recharge is, when I heard that, I was like, oh yeah. Oh yeah. And I am 100% down for this game. And frankly, I've been really digging it. It's been very cool. Seems to be kind of big in the Atari VCS scene, as it were, even though there's maybe not a big huge scene for the Atari VCS. Those of us who are into it, I think a lot of us are Centipede fans, and I know it's been getting a fair amount of hype, but in my opinion, for a good cause, the game seems pretty rad. Darn it. Maybe I shouldn't be rapid firing here, but whatever. Anyway, yeah, so Centipede Recharge on the Atari VCS. It's $10 too, which I think is frankly a totally pretty good price for a brand new arcade style game in 2021. They could have maybe charged 20. I'm glad they did. Means I'm gonna probably pick it up on, well, honestly, I was probably likely to pick it up on multiple consoles regardless. But I think, you know, having it $10 is definitely an easier impulse purchase for kind of a retro arcade game, and I expect it's frankly going to do pretty well here for them. And they've got Black Widow, like I said, coming in Halloween, and the next ones after that are going to be Asteroids and Breakout, and that's cool. Don't kill a centipede. Survive for 90 seconds. Man, does anyone remember I'm sure some of you remember Atari Classics Evolved for, like, say, the PlayStation Portable. I think that was all it was released for. I'm not sure if it was released beyond the PlayStation Portable or not, but PSP is what I played it on, and dug it. Except, I never really got to unlock the retro games on it. It advertised itself as having all the classic games on the UMD, and it did, I assume, but the only way you could really get to them is by basically getting what are the equivalent of achievements. Those achievements were gosh darn hard. In some cases impossible. And you couldn't just say unlock something by getting a few achievements. You had to get all of them unlocked in order to unlock the classics. And I didn't want to, I wasn't able to do that. I remember trying to survive for 2.5 minutes without firing a shot in Asteroids Deluxe. Some things like that. It was pretty nuts. But it was, the reason I bring it up though, is they had evolved versions of these games. And they were overall pretty cool. But this is a little bit more considered, and I'm digging it. It's real cool. I really like what Atom Vision, and I understand they also maybe subcontracted with, what's the name of the game? Studio Spooky Box, I think? Something like that. Bullet Trill's a pretty good one. There's like a ghost power-up as well that I've been kind of digging. It basically sends the centipedes up toward the top of the screen. That's pretty cool. One of the things I was hoping, I'd heard, that the folks at Atari are working on a friend system for the VCS, in addition to online leaderboards. And I am very much looking forward to that. Besides maybe being a not entirely terrible promo for my channel, it'd be kind of neat to be able to see how we stack up on these games with the other VCS fans. Right now, the best version of leaderboards for the VCS, and it's a very good version of leaderboards, is the Antstream Arcade. And that's actually pretty cool. It's a pretty good way to get a sense of, how you do rack up. And, of course, in my case, the answer is very well. But, for a while, I was #1 on Centipede on Antstream. I think I'm still in the top 100. As it's got... Here we go, there's that ghost one. See how they all went back up to the top of the screen? But still, even though I'm not going to be setting any video game records, Twin Galaxies isn't going to be calling me anytime soon. But still, I was doing okay there on several games. And it's been pretty cool. But other than Antstream, the Atari VCS hasn't had online leaderboards, so it's kind of cool to see that that's in the works. And the Recharge series makes a lot of sense. Debut it, particularly the online leaderboards part, which is what I understand them working to do. Guess we'll see. This one's kind of cool too. You can see it almost does a Demons to Diamonds thing, where it has a person on the top and the bottom. Which, by the way, I don't know. I think does Atari still have the rights to Demons to Diamonds? I think I saw on the Atari IP list that they do, right? Yeah, they do, because it's on the collections. So, I don't know. I think it'd be kind of rad to see a recharge version of some of the 2600 games. Although I understand they want to focus on, presumably, what their most successful games are. which is, Asteroids, Breakout, Centipede, Missile Command, apparently Black Widow, which is actually kind of surprising. I didn't really, I never really played Black Widow when it was back in the arcades. I wasn't at the arcades I happened to be frequenting at that time. So I never really had an opportunity to play a lot of Black Widow until all the retro game compilations came out, in the 90s and beyond. And then, I realized that it was probably the coolest classic arcade twin-stick shooter outside of Robotron 2084. But clearly it's found its fans, because it's getting the treatment on Halloween. Of course, spiders, Halloween, what have you. It's going to be a perfect fit. Great Halloween game. But I was surprised, though, because like I said, I wouldn't have expected it to be like one of their top games, coming out before Asteroids even. But it could just be because of the Halloween thing. But I would guess that for these Recharge series, they are a commercial entity. And are going to be releasing the games that sell the best for them. Most people are playing, and I'm sure that with the advent of the Atari Vault on PC and PlayStation and Switch and all the rest, they've probably got some pretty good data on gameplay. Who's playing what and how often, and what are the most popular games in the compilation and what have you. So I'm assuming that a lot of the Recharge series is going to be, commercially based on that data. I would assume it could just be luck, or who knows, maybe they drew names out of a hat, but I doubt it. They probably are just like, well, what's our most successful games of all time? Let's start with those. What are the ones that still have relevance in 2021 that we can give the neon treatment to, the Recharge treatment to? But you know what I mean. This kind of neon, what you call it. Of course, something like the Asteroids or Black Widow, which were originally vector graphics games, make a lot of sense to pick. And of course, even though Centipede wasn't a vector graphics game, it was always a particularly colorful game in arcades. It had a lot of... It was cool in that respect, so... Actually, I probably need to turn down my audio some. Let's see about doing that. Gameplay audio bit. You can hear my voice. Nobody asked for that. That's okay. Like I say, I'm not actually planning to do anything with this live stream. I just figured I haven't gone live in a long time, and this game is just so right up my alley. I am so psyched for Centipede. Seriously, I am very excited for this game having come out, and thrilled that not only has it come out, but it's pretty good. Maybe even great. At the very least, it's a refreshing, cool, unique, fun take on Centipede, and I'm gonna have lots of fun with it, even if it doesn't replace, the OG Centipede in the Atari Vault, in terms of what I drop in when I just want a game for 5-10 minutes. Hey, William, nice to see you on YouTube. There's a game, I don't know if you've ever... I assume a lot of people who might be checking this out would be familiar with it, but Space Invaders Extreme is one of my personal all-time favorite retro remakes. Frankly, it might even be one of my favorite games of the past decade or so. I don't even know, maybe it's older than a decade now. But however old, I guess I'd have to look up when Space Invaders Extreme came out. You know, it may have been Tempest 2000 that kind of created this sort of neon subgenre of retro remakes. But for my... Although, you know, Tempest 2000 is an excellent game. For my money, it was really Space Invaders Extreme that just... I fell so hard for that game, and I still play that game a lot. I still bring it out. I just picked it up just the other day on... was it Steam here? No? Switch? It just came out recently? Yeah, Switch I think it was. And I'll pretty much play Space Invaders... Heck, I would love to see Space Invaders Extreme on the BCS. Probably isn't gonna happen, you know. Hey Tato, I know you like to focus on old games, right? Oh, you don't? Oh, okay. But... just real quick for those wondering, I'm playing this on the classic joystick here. Works great. Works great. Actually, see, I'm dropping a few frames here. That's a little bit of a bummer. It's probably because I'm trying to record in 1080-60. If I drop it down to 30, probably a better luck. Like I said, I just sort of fired this up on a whim. Because I was playing the game anyway. It's like, let's go live. See about going live for the first time on YouTube and checking out going live on Facebook as well. Facebook.com/MockduckPlaysGames. I actually do have a Twitch channel, but I kind of have gotten away from it. I don't know. There's something wrong with Twitch. You know, I use it all the time for work and streaming and things. But... in terms of my personal streaming, I just didn't have anyone watching ever on my Twitch channel, and or almost ever. And it just wasn't really doing much for me. And then, you know, Twitch has maybe got its issues. So as long as like YouTube's out there and that seems to be going pretty well for me, and you know, Facebook is doing its thing and gives me a chance to check out Facebook gaming. So I've been getting into streaming on Facebook and that instead of Twitch. YouTube instead of Twitch. But I still do have a Twitch channel as well that I might use again someday. Mostly at the moment it's used by my son to stream. And that's cool. Eight more scorpions to kill. Can I do it? Yep, there's one. There's two. Really like this shotgun blast. I would love to see, and I know it doesn't make sense maybe for them to do it, but I would love to see a version of Centipede Recharged, or Centipede with the power-ups of Recharged. That's pretty cool, I think. Yeah, I don't think I can change the frame rate while I'm live. Nope. I will say, after playing now 4 Airy games in a row, pretty much, on for the recent months, because it's kind of all that's been released since Pixel Cup Soccer in June. Guntech 2.0. I want to make sure I give them a shout out as well, because I've been loving Guntech 2.0. That was a really cool game. But other than that, other than Guntech, which I'd already, you know, played through to completion when it was 1.0. There hasn't been anything other than the Airy games. And, you know, I don't want to say too much bad about the Airy games. But I have to say, after playing 3 of them, a little bit of a drag. Little bit of a drag. Frankly. So. They've been having technical problems. I loved Little Bird Adventure, actually. I thought Little Bird Adventure was fantastic. But, everything since has had technical and other issues. Really bad frame rate, slowdown, audio issues, freezing issues on the game client. And I haven't put my Sky Castle review together yet. But I have to be honest, I think it might be the worst of the bunch. Unfortunately, because there are parts of it that I think are the best. The most ambitious thing that they've done. And that's real cool, you know? But, hey, if it doesn't work, right? Yeah, I think this actually might be the first time I've gone live on YouTube with Mockduck Plays Games. Don't destroy poison mushrooms, get 3,700 points. Okay. That I should be able to do, especially if I just sort of hug the right side of the screen here. I actually expect to have my Centipede review done fairly quickly here, because, you know, I generally try to play through to finish on games before I review it, although I don't necessarily feel obligated to. It really depends on the game and what it is. But I at least play enough, I play enough that I feel comfortable speaking as authoritatively as I do. So I usually play through the game all the way to the end. But with Centipede here, I think a couple of nights is probably going to be more than enough footage to get my thoughts put together on it. And honestly, I think it's going to be a pretty easy review to do. It's pretty sweet. You know, if you like Centipede, I think if you like Centipede, you're probably really going to like this. And if you don't like Centipede, well, it's probably not going to change your mind. But that's okay. But, you know, there was a discussion on the Atari Age forums, I guess, where people were talking about past Centipede remakes. And I don't think we've really had a Centipede update since 2011's Centipede Infestation on the Nintendo Wii. And I have to admit, I never played that game. I had actually forgotten about it until the Atari Age thread this week. But I do have a Wii. Actually, I have a couple of them. And so I'll have to keep an eye out and see if I can pick up Centipede Infestation. I understand it's more of a twin-stick shooter, but that sounds alright. And then we had, you know, Centipede and the Atari Evolved Collection. That was an update. Like I said, I don't think we've had a Centipede since, have we? Lots of Centipede reissues of, like, you know, the classic version of that, and that's great. But it's really neat to see this get a pretty excellent treatment here. Kill 60 centipedes. Ooh, okay. Let's see. I have not had any technical issues with Centipede on the VCS. It's, as you can see here, it's running great. I did have some issues last night with my controller on Bluetooth. I was having some Bluetooth dropping. But I'm wired right now, and I've not had a single bit. That's why I'm actually do have the classic controller wired, because I wanted to see, you know, because I had a few moments where it just stopped steering on me yesterday, and I was a little concerned that that might be a bug or something with the game. But no, it looks like it was just some kind of Bluetooth interference that I was experiencing at home, so that's fine. That may be the VCS, that could not be. Hard to say. There we go. But, I mean, I don't know that I really would have wanted much different for an update to Centipede than what we got here. You know, give it the kind of Space Invaders neon treatment with a cool banging soundtrack done by Megan McDuffie, which I think she's done an excellent job on the soundtrack. And I'm really looking forward, you can hear right now, I understand the soundtrack is out on her Bandcamp page at the very least. But it's cool. You know, this music fits perfect for Centipede Recharged. So I'm expecting really good things really throughout this whole series. You know, all the people involved seem like they're smart, pretty well considered, understand the games, kind of know what's working and what isn't. All the way back to even Missile Command, you know, even though I really dislike Missile Command as a video game. No issues at all with their Missile Command Recharged. I thought they did a really good job with it. And they've knocked Centipede out of the park here, I think. You know, you could quibble a little bit if you're a little bit, maybe more of a Centipede purist, in the slow movement of the spiders here. You know, the spiders really aren't much of a threat. Although, as you see, you know, I died a couple of times already to them, but not nearly as much as you do in the regular Centipede, where it's just like, you bastards! You know, with the spiders just destroying you at every opportunity. Oh, you're at the 7,000 points. Time to dive bomb you! You know, I haven't really been seeing that. So the spiders move pretty slow. But it makes sense, because they are more the source of they're the fuel, frankly, that you're using to do everything else. So it makes sense to me that they're doing that. And I also saw a comment, I don't know who it was exactly, on the video I did, just the raw gameplay video I put up yesterday. Someone was saying they didn't really like the way the centipedes look either. They're a little wigglier than kind of the solid body things that they are in the classic, and that's true. That's true. I could see that. You know, that didn't bother me at all, but I could see that criticism. But overall, I think the core gameplay, right, which is what's important here. You know, have they nailed the general idea of Centipede while updating it at the same time? And I think they have. So, it's got power-ups, cool music, cool levels, challenges. Oh, the co-op is fantastic. I don't have my girlfriend with me right now to play co-op, but, you know, she plays a lot of Centipede, too. And so the two of us being able to tear through both the regular arcade version along with the challenges here, pretty cool. It's going to be really fun to go through this stuff in co-op. Really like that, so. As you can see, you can hit the middle. You can kind of hit two rows at the same time if you hit it in the center like that. And although I'm not a Centipede expert, I've played it forever, but like I said, I'm not hitting any leaderboards. I don't think that's how it works in the arcade. Pretty sure it isn't. Right? I don't think you can hit two rows at the same time in the arcade. You also don't have the thing, at least it hasn't happened to me other than I think once here in the while playing, where if you hang on the right side of the screen, sometimes the spider in the classic will just bam, you know, dive bomb you right like that. I haven't seen that happen to me yet in Centipede here. That's not to say you should hug the right side of the screen, although I guess I could look into whether you should, but I don't think you should. I'm gonna guess probably not. Ooh, that worked. Oh, Lord. Oops. I am also not very good at hitting fleas in the arcade Centipede, nor in this one. One of the toughest challenges that I kind of have struggled with tonight was one where I had to kill like 45 fleas or something like that. That really took me forever to do that one. Bombs are sweet. You can't blow yourself up either. No friendly fire. There's also a cool thing in co-op, because probably the biggest game... I mean, there's a couple of big gameplay differences between Centipede Recharged and OG Centipede. One of the biggest is you don't have 3 lives. You have 1 life. And that's it. And that's how Missile Command works, too, although, you know, Missile Command was like that. Basically arcade as well, right? Because you just sort of played till you inevitably died. But in Centipede here, you know, you get hit once and it's game over, like you're saying. So that changes things quite a bit. You can't bank on earning extra lives and doing that sort of thing. So, but it hasn't been a problem in terms of having satisfying games on Centipede Recharged. See, when they come down here, because they spawn mushrooms, just like, you know, in the arcade. But when they come down like that, I found myself, they outrun your ability to shoot them down. So you can't really just sort of sit there and hold still. Eventually you pretty much get blasted to death. You know, I know there's been a lot of really cool games so far in 2021, and on the VCS and elsewhere. And I know, like, a lot of people are super psyched for, like, New World, the Amazon MMO that came out this week. For my money, Centipede Recharge is one of the most exciting games of 2021. I have played so much Centipede. And when I first got the VCS around Christmas, one of the first things I did was boot up Centipede on the Vault. Good way to know how your new game console is how's Centipede run on it, you know? I play Centipede. Whenever I'm looking for a game just to kill 10-15 minutes, I'll go into the vault, usually play Centipede, Breakout, Asteroids, Black Widow sometimes. Those are the main ones. Tempest. I play Tempest a fair enough amount too. Oops. So, exclusive to the VCS, versus the version on Switch, PlayStation, Xbox, PC, Epic Games Store. I think that's it. They say that there are exclusive challenges on the VCS. I don't know what those challenges are, but exclusive challenges, so. Okay. Presumably, I don't know if we're playing exclusive challenges here or if we're just playing regular challenges, but that's cool. That's a lot of spiders and stuff. Let me get some bombs going. Cannot even do it. Oh my gosh. Ah! Oh! Spider or something. Yeah. Oh. There we go. Bomb, 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 bomb. Bum, bum, bum. That's Trixie. Oof. Alright, yeah, that's a tough one. Try one more time. Maybe I'll take a break from the challenges and show a few other things here before I kind of wrap up the stream. So, you can see achievements. Working on them. I like that they're progressive. They tell you how much. And then the settings are pretty alright too. You've got controller settings where you can invert X or Y if you want to. You can control the vibration strength and whether there's vibration at all, the movement sensitivity. On the graphics, I'll actually turn off the effects here for a second. And you can kind of see how that looks when I play an arcade version. So this is with the effects off. In some ways, it's a little cleaner. Yeah, I kind of like it. I actually wonder if I'm not going to be spending some amount of time with effects off, just for kind of clarity of gameplay, having less bloom. I think it's mostly bloom. I don't know, I guess I'd have to look a little more closely at the video to see what the differences might be, but it seems to be a lot of bloom, largely, in terms of the effects. Fewer particle effects, I suppose, but this plays pretty well with bloom, or with the effects off. And I imagine for photosensitive people in particular, that's almost certainly the setting you're going to want to use. I'm going to guess, in general, if you're a person who suffers from photosensitivity, perhaps these neon retro remakes in general are maybe your best gaming option. But, you know, they actually do put quite a bit of effort into accessibility options for Centipede Recharge, and I thought that was pretty great. It's always nice to see more accessibility for color blindness, photosensitivity here. Control options to invert, whether you do that. You could use the modern, you could use the classic. You could theoretically use the keyboard. I mean, you could certainly use the keyboard on the PlayStation, or not PlayStation, but PC version of Centipede Recharged. However, while the UI elements appear for, it'll say like press space to start if I've got a keyboard plugged in, it doesn't actually let me control the game with a keyboard or a mouse. The mouse shows up as well, but the only thing you can do with the mouse is control some menu elements. Perhaps that's going to be added, it just isn't here yet. But it is a thing right now where you can't play with a mouse. And the reason that matters is, of course, because the OG trackball nature of Centipede. It would be really nice to be able to perhaps use your USB trackball kit or the Atari trackball that is available. It was down to $100 at best, or what have you, not that long ago. All right, so let me take off this. Put back on effects. I'm going to turn on screen shake. Yeah, we'll just do that for the moment so you can see what's up. So here's the difference between the effects and the not. You can see it seems to largely be about the neon bloom. It doesn't really impact gameplay, but in some ways it gives you a little more clarity to have it off. So I wonder if I'm really going to go for those high score leaderboards, I might be better off having effects off. You can save your power-ups. As you can see, they will decay eventually, but they last for quite a long time, and you generally can stack up a couple and pick and choose. I don't know how important that is later in the game as I get better at it, but you know, so far as you can see, my high score is only about 15,000 or what have you, so not super. That's could be worse. Although I don't know, maybe that is super good. Maybe I'm like the best Centipede Recharge player in the world right now. Maybe I am the best in the world right now. But, I guess we'll see. If we get those online leaderboards for the VCS, find out if I'm really as bad as I think, if I'm actually slightly better than I thought, or slightly worse. Guess we shall find out. Ooh, nice. Wouldn't you love to have a sideways shot in the OG Centipede? Alright, before I wrap things up then, and I did put it on the video here as well, but I'll show off, you can see there's also some colorblind modes. They've got Protanopia, Deuter Anomaly, and Tritanopia. I assume if you suffer from color blindness, that may mean some things to you. I noticed that one of them was more grayscale, one of them had a different color palette, things like that. And just move to Protanopia quick, just to show you what it looks like. Yeah, see, this one's basically black and white, which is kind of also sort of a nice nod to the OG Atari 2600 in some ways. You know, black and white and color switches, even if it's not actually black and white because of the purple and what have you. But it's a neat way to play the game. I don't mind. It's just for fun. Might well find myself just swapping this over sometimes. Because you only get one life in Centipede Recharged, I have found that it is more important than ever to knock out the scorpions and get rid of those poison mushrooms that cause the centipedes to drop down. Because once they're down on the screen, unless you happen to get a ghost power for something, it's pretty challenging. Because you can't say like you would in the arcade, perhaps lose a life, clear out the mobs at the bottom, and then have another shot to take them out. Yeah, I have to admit, I'm kind of digging this color palette. Another thing, you can see how you can get stuck with mushrooms on the bottom of the screen. It can be a little challenging sometimes, especially as it gets real busy. You can find yourself kind of stuck if you're not careful. I need a ghost. Explosions won't hurt. For no other reason than it'll clear out these mushrooms. Well, that's my new best score. Hey man, how's it going? Yep, nice to see you. Alright, so I'm going to move out of the colorblind mode setting here. Although, like I said, there's actually 3 colorblind mode settings. But I'll move back to normal. I'm going to swap over to Immersive Mode. Now, Immersive Mode is cool, but as I think you'll see, you lose visibility. It's sort of like challenging because you can't actually see what's happening on the other half of the screen. So while it may be kind of cool, I doubt, you know, if you're going for high scores, you're going to be playing in the immersive mode very much. How would you like to see less of what's going on? That's definitely going to make it easier to play. But so there you go though. Immersive mode is a thing. But, you know, it's kind of cool. It looks cool anyway. A lot of the same strategies, you know, about kind of leading your way up to tear through mushrooms and that, all still totally there. You know, they understand Centipede. Not only does Atari and Atom Vision clearly kind of know what game they're making here. And I saw on their podcast, they've got a developer who worked on the game design, as I understand it, who just recently started working at Remedy, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool game studio there. But clearly they had a pretty well-considered design for how to translate Centipede in 2021 and give it this kind of retro recharge treatment. And frankly, it looks great, doesn't it? Looks great, plays great, sounds great. Not even that expensive. Only $10 and it just came out yesterday. I mean, you know, to some extent, what else could you possibly want? And it's got co-op. On top of that, even has co-op, which I can't show you tonight because no one around to see it, but or to play it with me here. But you know, and if I get trophies for all those achievements, then I'm definitely spending another $10 to get it for the PlayStation. I love my trophies. For audio, master, music volume, sound effects volume. They have nice language support. Yeah, I'll show the credits here real quick. Sneaky box. So my guess is that so game designed by Vedas Okunis, and that's who recently got hired by Remedy. And then Atom Vision Studios, I think, largely was the product manager for it, as well as offering some design and things like that. And it looks like Sneaky Box was largely the group contracted to execute on the ideas that they had going on. So, pretty cool. And you can see here, they don't actually have a whole lot of people at Atari right now. Something like 28 people. Jared Petty, huh? He was a former IGNer. I've heard him on podcasts and such. That's cool. I wonder what he had to do with it. Fred Cisneus is the former CEO of Atari. Still involved in an executive level, as I understand, on the cryptocurrency side, I think. All right. Yeah, I think I'm going to wrap up the stream here then. So thanks for watching, everyone. Really appreciate you being here. If you like it, let me know. Maybe I'll do more live streams if there's any audience interested in it. Otherwise, you know, my main focus really is and will remain the produced videos that I do. I really have been enjoying making them. Honestly, I mostly make them for myself, and I'm thrilled, absolutely floored and thrilled at the success I've had on this channel. You know, I'm not a mega star on YouTube. You know, I'm not hitting 50, 60,000 views or anything like that, like some of the larger retro game podcasters video makers out there, but I don't want to be. I'm totally happy with where I am right now on my YouTube channel. I'm making videos I want to make. I'm really liking, I think I'm doing as good a job as I can do, and people seem to be responding to it. So I'm really, really happy with how things are going, and I really appreciate you checking it out. So thanks very much for watching, everyone. Hope you're having fun with Centipede and the VCS. And actually, you know what? Let me do one more thing here before I wrap it up. Let me just show you what I got going on for my VCS here. As long as I got a webcam. There's my VCS sitting right there. I've got it on a little platform for the computer. It goes into a Elgato HD60, and that's where I record my videos. And then when there's a nice long break between video making, I usually hook it up to my big television set, which is in the background there behind me. So the VCS rules. It absolutely rules. I have had such a great time with it. So hope you're having fun. I'll talk to you all again soon. Bye-bye.